Hey guys, welcome back to One Punch Man World. In today's video, I wanted to discuss tier lists, rerolling, and stuff like that, and give you guys like what my #1 tip is, which is to just play the game and choose a character you like and not rely too heavily on tier lists. At the end of the day, this is an action game, and often, yes, there will be quote-unquote best characters and stuff like that. However, having a character with a playstyle that you enjoy is also probably the most important thing. From everyone that I've spoken to who played heavy in the beta, they said it's pretty much the game where as long as you get good at a character, you can get through most of all the content in the game with whoever you want to use, which is a fantastic thing because now we can look at play styles as opposed to who is the best. So when we look at tier lists, when you look at rerolling for a character, I still recommend jumping in for a character that you like. Now, my personal strategy is going to be just play through the game, and then if I find that there's a character with a real cool playstyle that I want to play, then I may reroll another account in a day or two or something like that. But at the start, I think just jump into it and play. But if you do want to reroll and you do want to get a character, the first thing I'm gonna do when the game launches is work out the most efficient reroll method, and I'll do a reroll guide. But as for who to reroll for, I am like you guys. I didn't play the beta. I'm not the most experienced person at the game, obviously. And let's face it, there could be changes from the beta. There's new characters that they've been showing in a bunch of social stuff that weren't in the beta. So there's a bunch of changes and stuff like that. But because I've had so many people asking me about it already, I just wanted to make this video where I've gone through and I've done my own research of looking at all the different tier lists, speaking to people from the Discord who had tier lists to get like just sort of a collation of information and opinions around the characters so that I could bring you guys the best information that I can around tier lists. But once again, before we go through these tier lists are subjective. It's an action game. I still recommend just choosing the character that you like and going down that path at the end of the day. But with enough disclaimers out of the way, let's jump into the tier lists. Okay, so here are the tier lists that I found. We've got one from LD Player, which isn't really even complete. They don't have all the characters in there. We've got one from .gg, and we've got this one from Droid Gamers. And then I got another one, which I found on the Discord. A massive shout out to Doomleaf over on the Discord, who created this one based on their experience in the beta as well. And so what I do in games like this, where I don't have my personal experience and I want to go and weigh up what characters, I think maybe around the top, I just go through these, like all the lists that I can find and see if there's a common sentiment around them. But keeping in mind, because it is one of those action games, different people who are good with one character will probably rate them higher than people who aren't as good with that character. So there is a lot of subjectivity to these kinds of things. So if we go around like this list, let's take a look at the top in this list. We see Saitama in like Sleepy Saitama and Prison Sonic up the top. This one's got Sleepy Saitama and Sonic up top, the jail Sonic. It's also got some others as well, but that's a look at what we've got there. This one's got Atomic Samurai and the Sleepy Saitama here, and then this one over here, which is the one from Doomleaf, who I had a good chat to and explained their reasoning for positionings. We got the Sleepy Saitama down over here in A tier, but they mentioned that basically with this tier list, they were looking at versatility of characters. When we look at something like Silverfang, we have the ability to heal. With Atomic Samurai, we've got the ability to, also amplify the break of your team and stuff like that. So, and they're both versatile in mobility as well, so they have those added factors. And once again, anyone who makes a tier list, it's going to be more around the play style. Now, once we get into different modes in the game, say, a mode where it's like this specific boss and, you've got these damage windows and this character has the highest burst for the damage windows, then there will be a more objective opinion around specific things. But in general playthrough of playing through the game, these things are going to be completely subjective. So, like I said, for most of these, Saitama is in the top rank. Obviously, they all have different SS, SA, whatever it is. But Saitama Dream is in the top rank of 3 of the 4 lists. So I think to myself, Saitama must be pretty good. This one has a little quick description of unparalleled strength with one-shot potential. And that's what we go into there. Then we look at some of the others. So if we go to something like this one, we've got, okay, S rank is Atomic Samurai. Then we go down to this one, and we've got Atomic Samurai down here in the B tier. Unique ranged attacks, mobility skills, lower damage output. So when we look at the description of this character here, it feels like this character has been rated low on this tier list due to the lower damage output, meaning that maybe this tier list is looking more at the damage output potential of characters as opposed to something like this one, and probably this one, that are looking more at the utility of the character, the supportiveness of the character, and the mobility that the character brings. So every tier list is going to look at different stuff, and I think just looking at general descriptions of a character can get you an idea of whether it's a playstyle that you will like. Now, let's take a look at another one here. For instance, who else is high in here? We've got the normal Sonic up here as well, and we've also got one of the Genoses. So let's take a look where they fall here. So we've got Genos. So this is, and that's not even the same one that's in the upper tier, because we do have different versions of other characters, and this one doesn't even have the other Sonic, so we can't really look at that one for that. Let's go. We've got Genos, and we've got Speed of Sound Sonic, and so we've got both Speed of Sound Sonics here. So it seems to me like Speed of Sound Sonic is going to be a decent unit in that sense, because we do have decent rankings on it across the board. The prison one appears to be generally higher ranked, with the standard Speed of Sound Sonic being lower ranked, but that gives you an idea of what we're looking at. The interesting thing is when we look at Mustachio, so you can see he's C tier down here, like the lowest of the low. And then if we go here, do we have Mustachio? Puri, nope, none there. Spring Mustachio is A tier in this one. Okay, there he is. So we go from a C tier to an A tier to a D tier, so bottom tier here, and we don't have him in this one. So, you know, that's quite a difference from the second top tier down to the lowest tier for these two tier lists. Maybe that comes down to this player, the people who are making this tier list, just enjoying his playstyle. Now, I just wanted to throw in editing as well, that we do have additional things on these, which are like impression arms, which are kind of like signature weapons, which could also impact these types of things depending on whether you have them or not. I know that we've got characters like Atomic Samurai and Silver Fang who do have really nice ones. Silver Fang's one for extra healing. Atomic Samurai has like extra break, I believe it is, on his. So they have different effects tied into their quote-unquote like weapon, if you will, which do affect the characters as well. As always in games, that's always going to be a consideration. So that's just another thing to weigh up, that, you know, some things may be considering that and some others may not, and there's just so many factors that will impact this stuff. Like I said, that is just something to look at. If you're looking at characters, bounce between them, figure out who your favorite character from the anime is, see if you like them, and that is the best way, I think, right now to go through it, because it is way too early to say this is objectively the best character. We had one beta. Even those who played through the beta infinitely while it was available still probably wouldn't have a great idea of making an objective tier list. So once again, go through, make your own decisions. At the end of the day, I think having a playstyle you enjoy is going to be the most important thing, because remember, it's a game. The idea is that you have fun. So those are the things that I wanted to highlight in here. Once again, I'll leave a link to all these tier lists in the description. For this one, you can find it over on the Discord. People have been sharing pictures of it, or you can also just pause the screen and you can look at this if you want to look at that one. So those are the tier lists. Now, obviously, we are getting extra characters and stuff like that. Like I said, game modes will affect this, so take it with a massive grain of salt. My number one tip is just play through the game, then find how you enjoy the game, and then maybe what I'll do is, after a day or two of playing through an account, maybe then I re-roll and try and get like my favorite characters for the playstyle, and then I go through and then I make that my main account. But that is my thoughts. That is the tier list. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.